Hello, my lovelies. This is me, your diva Kaguramacha. In today's video, I will be reviewing some hybrids sent by you guys. Starting off is Bark. It's by JRN, and this was back in my Sir Beats era, but whatever. It's by JRN. So, let's talk about it. Starting off is its base, the Allosaurus. So, he used Allosaurus for the base and Utahraptor for the claws. Now, this is not good because incongruency. Based on the type of Allosaurus you use for the base, you wouldn't need something like a Utahraptor for the claws. Also, the thing is, I don't think an animal as big as an Allosaurus, unless it has special high levels of pneumatization, it cannot support a sickle claw. Also, if you use Saurophaganax, you'll be able to save up on genome space for the claws. Moving on, my guy JRN, he used both the crow and the chimpanzee for the IQ. I think using two contributors for the intelligence is just gonna be like ruining the hybrid and also giving it split instincts, which is not good for combat. Moving on for the cassowary, the same reasons would rend the Utahraptor ineffective, would also rend uh, the cassowary ineffective. Moving on is the red kangaroo for combat and leg strength. I simply do not think it could work on an Allosaurus type hybrid. Maybe next time try using a Procoptodon for if you're gonna include a kangaroo. Moving on is Ceratosaurus. I do not know what the Cerato provides. Same for the American alligator because he says American alligator for teeth. I instead think you can JRN. I instead think you can use the alligator for vasoconstriction, its amazing immune system, and also its scoots. So yeah, now on to the moving on is the chicken. Now, chickens, they have this thing which allows them to resist the sound of their scream. So I think you could use that to prevent high frequencies from entering into your hybrid's ear, or just removing it. Moving on, grizzly bear. Allosaurus is already bipedal, so I view it as rather unnecessary. So yeah. Also, you can what do you call it? Yeah. Make utilize the chimpanzee also for its arms, cause Goji Center. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for Vark. Moving on is Rocky by at Sean Kelly. So starting off, I think um, this hybrid is rather front heavy. So I think adding something like the Apatosaurus would also but I also think it's super front heavy because T-Rex, Pachyrhinosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, and yeah, those skull enhancements. I think they'd already make the skull super front heavy. So you need something to balance it out. Moving on, I also don't even get me started on how heavy those arms are.
because he's using thumb spike of the Apatosaurus thumb spike on chimpanzee arms and Siberian tiger for those arms, and also Lustodon. So that means you'll have like some pretty heavy arms, which will also make the hybrid super front heavy. So yeah, I think you'll need a very good counterbalance. Maybe like gristle plating in the tail or something like that. I don't know. So like you can think of any kind of counterbalance. So yeah, also the scaly foot gastropod. I don't know about that, but personally I wouldn't use it. Also, Hiroshiro is very good, for its use. Moving on is Achilles. So, first of all, in case you're wondering why my voice sounds different within the different reviews, I am recording on different days. So, let's get into the hybrid. Achilles, Tyrannosaurus geopeltis. So, these are the list of contributors in it. Don't mind the music, by the way. That's just a phone ringing. So then, yeah, the T-Rex for all of its amazing contributions. And then you've got the Jackapil, which makes a really nice addition. No, so yeah, good on you, Sean. Also, the North American porcupine. It provides quills across parts of the body not protected by the Jackapil's osteoderms, which is good, and iron teeth. Now, the thing is, North American porcupines and other iron teeth rodents only have their iron teeth in their incisors. Moving on is the vampire bat for its thermal sensors, its iron distribution, and its immune system and its social structure. So this is when the vampire bat comes in and Loki saves the hybrid. Moving on is the blue ring octopus. I do not know about this thing because I am not a biologist. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, but still, he just implemented the venom for the saliva. So yeah. So moving on is the orangutan, and you can't complain. But I also think using the T-Rex and orangutan for intelligence would make your hybrid ultra intelligent. So yeah, there's that, and also then there's the peregrine falcon for its faster reaction speed. I don't know. Originally, I think a Roadrunner was used. So yeah, I think this is a big step up from the Roadrunner if a Roadrunner was used originally. So yeah, moving on is the Taurovenator providing claws on the hands, which I think the Lestodon could have given much better. Enlarged talons on the foot, raised neural spines for extra musculature, neck vertebrae to provide extra that overlap to provide extra shock absorption when ramming its skull into opponents. Now, Taurovenator had its cervical spines to help it absorb impacts when hunting sauropods. So yeah. Moving on is the Lestodon, providing stronger arms and internal osteoderms. Now, one of the things is Lestodon, it had a very robust elbow, a very robust ulna, and then a very robust olecranon, which allowed it to hit super hard. So I think, Sean, you could have implemented this into the hybrid, and then and then it also provides internal osteoderms, making this hybrid really well armored overall, and also while still keeping it super light, which I really appreciate. So yeah. Moving on is Alitrex, also by Sean Kelly, creator of Achilles and Rocky. So the base is the Alamosaurus, chosen for its muscular build and its built-in back and underside osteoderms. which is quite good for your choice of armor. Moving on is the Argentinosaurus, enhancing size and providing air sacs. Now, considering Alamosaurus's sheer height, I don't know about the congruity of the Argentinosaurus. Also, doesn't the Alamosaurus itself also have air sacs? So, yeah. Moving on is the pigeon. So, it provides intelligence and vision. Now, I think you'd need to pick something else for the intelligence, because pigeons, they don't walk on four legs and they don't behave like sauropods, obviously. Then you've got the Staganolepsis. Hold on, I need to look at how I haven't seen a Staganolepsis in a hot minute. Okay, so yeah, hold up, I need to see that thing. So I don't think you can strengthen it, but instead just use it for like the complete underside and not like the side of the lower body. No, like the ribs, to like armor the lower side in case I don't know, something tries ambushing Alatrex. So yeah, moving on is the Stegoros, providing its tail weapon, its sharp back armor. Now, I think the Stegoros is definitely a welcome addition for its Macahuitl. Moving on is the Celidosaurus, which synchronizes with the Alamosaurus to enhance the overall armor. Now, I think this is quite good and also on the legs without sacrificing much mobility. Quite good, you know. So, moving on is the opossum, providing its very powerful immune system. Now, the thing is, this immune system is made possible via an antimicrobial peptide called LTNF. So, LTNF means lethal toxin neutralization factor. And like this thing helps them fight off diseases such as rabies. Moving on is the domestic chicken, providing natural earplugs from the white bellbird, providing incredibly powerful weaponized vocals. This means that, plus, upon being upscaled, I think Alitrex is gonna be super loud. Moving on is the giraffe, providing neck strength, long tongue, and horns. Now, I think, aka it's ossicones. So, now I think the giraffe is underutilized because one of its abilities is that it actually has a network of blood vessels under its skin. This functions as a radiator, constantly keeping it cool, enhancing Alitrex's heat resistance because he used the African flamingo. Also, I think this would straight up eliminate the need for African flamingo. So, yeah. Overall, Alitrex is actually like super well rounded, but just has a single unnecessary contributor. So, yeah. Moving on is Maximus by Ganotrop. Now, Gigantothrustes Maximus has a lot of armor type things. So one of those are its reinforced limb bones with thick cortical walls, which means its limb bones are rather powerful and hard to bite through. So he also used the elastic ligament system in order to support the tail and the neck. A lot of things, high oxygen extraction efficiency, which basically like increases the size, its padded feet, its rigid lungs, and other sauropod exclusive adaptations. Moving on is the African dwarf crocodile, used for its third eyelid, its monolid or something, I forgot it. It's tapetum lucidum. its ability to prevent blood clots, also known as vasoconstriction, its secondary fermentation chambers, its slow metabolism, its ability to control its metabolism, its flexible skin, its dorsotemporal fenestrae to aid in brain cooling, its more acidic stomach acid. I don't think that was really like that necessary. I don't think its increased jaw strength is also that necessary. Its strengthened cranial musculature, which will like enhance the hybrid's head, and also obvious. I think its immunity is also needed, and also its osteoderms in areas which don't block the heat patches. So wait, hold up. Now Ganatrop, my guy, I think you can also use. I think you can either use the opossum's immunity or use this thing's immunity alongside the vasoconstriction, which will create an extremely powerful immunity for the hybrid. So let's move on. Moving on is the South African giraffe. So the South African giraffe allows the hybrid to have a four-chambered heart, and I already think the crocodile has that, but whatever. So then you have its extremely high blood pressure tolerance, which I think Alitrax could have used, but I forgot to mention it. Its valve segmented arteries, which Alitrax also could have used. Thick elastical arterial walls. Its ability to pant. By the way, I will also be using giraffe in a future extremely invincible hybrid of mine that is getting its video, but first of all I gotta draw it, lol. So yeah, also it has the ability of exchanging heat through patches. Now I think in order to help manage the heat, giraffes under their skin, they have a network of blood vessels, also this other stuff which is quite good. So like this like a functions as a radiator, keeping the hybrid cool in extremely hot environments. So yeah. Moving on is the Indian elephant, which I also used in my bioaccurate piercing ox, which is in one of my posts. I'm trash at calculating the stats, so I think you can look at the post and calculate the stat, providing a few providing its intelligence, as well as thin hairs across the body for heat dissipation. Now, Maximus is already like super good at handling heat, so this will just enhance his heat handling capabilities. But also, yeah, overall, I think the elephant is super well utilized within this hybrid. So, let's move on to the next genome. Moving on is the southern cassowary, providing the hybrid with its powerful dagger like toe claws, strengthened leg muscles, a casque for heat release and communication, and a sharp beak to aid in consumption of leaves. Now, this hybrid, it's a well bite. It can bite quite hard actually because of the next genome, but also this hybrid, as I said, is super good at heat dissipation. So honestly, if you wanna like enhance the kicking factor, I think you should definitely use a Brontomerus. Yeah, I am definitely gonna be using that within my invincible hybrid alongside the southern cassowary. But the reasons is because Brontomerus was known to have the strongest kicks among dinosaurs. But it's okay if you don't want to do that, hella valid. But yeah, that will essentially like lethalize any kicks. So let's move on to the Komodo dragon. So let's start off. So like one of the things of the Komodo dragon is that they actually have access to iron teeth, which in my opinion is amazing. They also have the Jacobson's organ, which enhances the overall senses, and it's partial venom resistance. Now if you had used the crocodile immunity, this wouldn't be needed, okay, by Gigantrop. It's sharpened and enlarged claws, which aren't really that big, but they can still cause high damage to other members of their kind. And yeah, also tooth modifications to better resemble those of prosauropods. I think this is an interesting addition. So let's move on. Actually, no. Let's move on to Alatrex. No, not Alatrex. Crud by Clamps. So, first of all, let's look at its base. The Marapunisaurus fragilis, providing its base genome, its long tail, a sturdy overall body, its neck and its legs, and the Shunosaurus, providing its tail club, a shorter neck, and thumb claws. Overall quite congruent. Moving on is the long-tailed pangolin. So, moving on is the long-tailed pangolin. So it provides its keratin armor, which is actually like super good, and its claws in order to lethalize any crushing attacks, which is already so overall, like if you get crushed by crud, not to like be a pun or something, this crushing attacks from this guy are already super lethal. Also, this all using the Shunosaurus claws and the pangolin claws, that already makes this guy quite the good grappler in my opinion. So, one of the contributions is the snout of the wild boar. Moving on is the higher aggression, its thick skin and fat, its gristle plating, cartilaginous protection on the chest and the back, and its ability to carry heavy metals. Now, this isn't truly an ability, but rather an element of its immune system present in swines. Moving on is the mastodon, providing its intelligence, sociality, a thing I will not get into, aka its genitals, and its feet padding, especially in the front limbs. So, also, this guy has good overall impact absorption, and I don't see any problems with it aside from the gristle plating, its fat and the cartilaginous protection is collectively known as gristle plating. So I think you could have said that instead. Moving on is the thresher shark, which provides cartilaginous protection across most of the body. But the thing is, this cartilage, it allows crud to actually withstand impacts. So it provides a layer of impact absorption, which I think Clamps could have mentioned. I don't think he knows about that, but whatever. So let's move on to the dromedary camel. It provides its chest muscles, already quite good. Its hump, providing way more fat alongside the Usuri wild boar. Its mouth padding, I don't know what that thing looks like. Its fangs, which will like be super powerful when mixed with a sauropod. Its dulla, it's that weird thing which comes out of its mouth, and its thermoregulation, which is quite good actually. So yeah, moving on is the scaly-foot snail. I do not know about this thing because, as I said, I am not good in terms of invertebrate biology because I spec a lot of my research points into vertebrate biology. So yeah, moving on is the Gorgitosuchus, which I've already reviewed for Boxer, so you can check that out. But the Gorgitosuchus, it is quite good. And then is the gazelle. So it cools the animal's blood. It cools the blood until it reaches the animal's brain, preventing any sort of like heat problems within the blood. Then there's Eremotherium, which provides its limb musculature, strengthening the claws,
slight arm modification. It's heel-bone, which allows it to get up. This is amazing. Like, this genome use is fucking top tier. Okay. Moving on, I think like you need to use the ability of the that thing to of the boar to read out toxic buildups from the scaly foot snail. Moving on is the is the Asian water monitor, allowing this thing to parthenogenesize, if that's a word, and also giving it scales on the legs and the head. Also, one thing which can be used from the Asian water monitor that I don't think was utilized was its beta carotene found within reptiles, way stronger than the alpha carotene found within us mammals. This would greatly increase the strength of the hybrid's overall armor and its claws. So I think my guy Clamps, you underutilized the Asian water monitor, and if I were you, I'd be using the beta carotene to enhance the hybrid's overall armor. So, like, considering you did use the African crested and the Brazilian porcupine, I think since you used those two species of porcupines, the quills will also greatly be enhanced, and Crud will be far more invincible. By the way, Florina, it was my last hybrid, and I've currently quit making hybrids, but I'll still currently continue to review people's hybrids and help enhance them. So moving on is the striped polecat, providing its anal spray gland. Now, I don't think this is necessary, but my guy Clamps, if you think it's necessary, then you do you, and I'ma do me. So then is the Virginia opossum, providing its OP immune system. Now, I think one way to make this thing more OP, as I said previously, would be to give this thing the wild boar's ability to read out toxic buildups. Moving on are some extra bits of information and debunking some wild claims.